Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a workout using only kettlebells. I had a request from somebody to do this, kind of like I did the other day with the weight plates. And I think it's good to know how to use them if you have them in your house. So I'm going to use a few different weights. You may find that you only have one, and I'm going to show you how to use them if you have one that's maybe a little too heavy or a little too light. But we're going to start today with some rows. So I am going to use my bench over here. And if you don't have a bench in your home, you can use your coffee table. You can use a couple chairs next to each other. The key is to put one knee up on the bench and then support yourself with that other arm so you have a nice flat back. And then you're going to pick up your kettlebell here and drive your elbow towards the ceiling. You want to think about keeping your shoulder set here. You don't want to dip down and then yank back. You want to keep it set here, pull straight back, and lower slowly. So thinking about squeezing that shoulder blade around your chest. You're only squeezing one side at a time here. Now, if you have a kettlebell here that maybe isn't very heavy, just do more of these. I'm going to do about 10. Or if you have one that's too heavy, you can sit like this and row up like this if it's too heavy to do with one arm. But typically people have a couple of them sitting around if they've got one. Okay, I'm going to turn around, grab it with one, pull that elbow towards the ceiling. You can do this with a dumbbell as well. It's the same motion. So if you don't have kettlebells and you want to follow along, you can do these all with dumbbells. Drive that elbow towards the ceiling, keeping that shoulder in that good supported position, keeping those abs tight and your back nice and flat. Okay, good. That's the row, the kettle row. Next, we're going to do a lunge with an overhead press. Now this one, I'm going to show you how to do a couple different ways. So I want you to get into a good wide stance for a lunge. So your feet pretty wide apart so that when you sit down into that lunge, you're getting a good 90-degree angle. Your hips are supported and level, and you're just going straight down. So I've got a kettlebell here, which may be a bit heavy for this, but I'm going to show you how it works with one hand and then how it works with both hands. But if you've got one that you can press overhead with one hand, you can do it on either side. So go down into that lunge, press straight up. Lunge, press straight up overhead. Now, if you have a kettlebell that is too heavy for this, you can do it with both hands. But you want to keep that lunge going the same way no matter what. So when I lunge down, you're seeing a good 90-degree angle. If that kettlebell is too heavy for one, press up with both arms. Hold it like this by the neck of it, or you can kind of hold your hands around. Whatever is the most comfortable way for you to hold that and press it up. I'm keeping my torso nice and tall, looking straight forward. And after I've done 10, I'll switch feet. Now, if you are able to do the one arm press, just go ahead and switch arms here too. Or if you get tired and you want to try 3 or 4 with that heavier weight, and then switch and get that overhead press. Good. If those lunges are too much, just do a smaller range of motion. And if that still isn't feeling good, send me a private message and I'll help you work through that. Okay, the next one is a plank, and we're going to move the kettlebell while we hold the plank. So this one is maybe a little challenging, but I'm getting my watch set here. So you can get into that plank. I'm going to move my camera down. If planks are hard for you, then go ahead and start on your knees. But I'm going to start up on my toes to show you. Now, I'm going to take this kettlebell and place it on the outside of my right hand. Now, I'm going to take it. Oops, I did this wrong. Okay, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna set it down, and then I'm gonna reach under with my other hand and set it on the outside of my hand. I'm gonna reach under, set it down. Once you start doing it, you'll get the hang of it. But you want to set it down on the outside of your supporting hand. So you reach under, bring it out here, and then switch. So we'll try 5 or so on each, or you can do it for 30 seconds. Remember, drop to those knees if this feels too challenging. Bring that around. Bring your supporting hand. All right, good. Plank moving the kettlebell. It's not really that too terribly difficult, but having to pick that up and move it, you're working that core, you're working that shoulder girdle, and once you start with the program, it does get easier as far as where you should place it. Okay, kettlebell swings. I wouldn't be able to do a kettlebell program without showing you kettlebell swings. So, the most important part, as always, is picking up and moving those kettlebells. So you want to be careful when you pick them up and move them in transitions. So I'm going to show you a kettlebell swing with your knees bent to protect your back. So when you start swinging a kettlebell, you want to bend your knees, bring it between your knees, and bring it up like this. Now the key to this exercise is getting that hip snap. So when I stand up, I want to snap my hips, squeeze my glutes, and really only bring it up to about shoulder height. Now, if you don't have kettlebells, you can do this with a dumbbell. You can do it. You can do it with a gallon jug. I think that would work pretty well, actually. And when you do this, sit those hips back. So notice, I'm not here. I'm sitting those hips back, just like I could do when I do a good squat. Okay, kettlebell swings. Next, we're going to do a triceps extension while also holding a bridge on the ball. So again, if you don't have a ball, you can do a bridge with your shoulders on a bench or your coffee table, or you can do them on the floor. You can just do a bridge. So I'm going to grab this kettlebell here. This is a 15. And I'm going to come out into my bridge, put this straight over my head, and I want to make sure I have a good grip on it. So I've got my thumbs looped around here. Resting your head and shoulders comfortably on the ball, hips up nice and tall, and then just down like this. Triceps extension. Keep those elbows in nice and tight. Bring that kettlebell up over your head, not down straight to your head. Over your head. If your kettlebell is too heavy for this, just do a chest press instead, and you'll work your triceps secondarily. But if it's too heavy, I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'd rather have you just do a little chest press here, so you can still get the benefit of the bridge, and your triceps will still get a workout, even with that chest press. Okay. Next, we're going to do a balance exercise, and we're just going to use one kettlebell here. And I want you to hold it with both hands. So, if your pinkies need to be on the outside, that's kind of how I hold it. I want you to stand on one leg, and we're going to tip over. So I want you to keep your torso and your leg that's going backwards in as straight a line as you can. Now, if you can only go to here and then back up, that's okay. This is really going to get your hamstring and balance all at the same time. So let that leg come up, sort of like a golfer's pickup, right? So if you're leaning over to pick up your ball out of the cup or pick up your tee, bringing that leg back, going nice and slowly all the way down if you can. The other way you can do this is like over a coffee table, but then you kind of want to get a different hold on it. But you can do it like this, so you don't have so far. It can feel a little easier, so the floor doesn't seem so far away. All right, I'm going to switch feet and do this. That's one. Keeping that back leg in as straight a line as possible with your body. Keeping your shoulders back, core nice and tight. Both slowly, both ways. Remember, if you need to do this over a bench or a chair so that the floor doesn't seem so far away, just give it a little bit of a shorter leash on it. All right, we'll do 5 and then rest. Good. And you should really be feeling that in your hamstring as well. It's a good way to get those hamstrings. Okay, so for the last one, I'm going to do a squat with a diagonal pickup like this, and I want your hand to go over your head. So my kettlebell is just a bit heavy for that. So I've got this, it's called a camel gun, but it's like a kettlebell, and I can grab one handle. It weighs about half of what my other one does, but I don't have my smaller kettlebells here at home. They're at my gym. So we're going to start in a little bit of a squat. Try to keep a good camera angle here. I'll scoot back. So start in a squat, put the kettlebell or something lighter if your kettlebell is too heavy for this, over your left foot with your right arm over that left foot. So you're going to grab it and then press it up over your right shoulder. If that kettlebell is too heavy, grab something different. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a water bottle, a can of soup, or if you really want to use your kettlebell, you can do it with both hands. So you put it over that foot and then push it up like this. So you can do it with both arms instead of just that one. So you can choose, depending on what weights you have at home, what you have available, if you have a kettlebell, if you don't, if one that you have is too heavy, choose something different. So I'm going to go to my opposite foot now, a little bit of a squat. Remember, you're sitting those hips back. Grab it over that foot, pull it up opposite. Remember to keep breathing. Every time you come down into that squat, you're sticking those hips back. And if you can't find something that will work with one hand, do it with 2. That's okay. You can still do pretty much the same exercise with both arms. Okay, great. Let's go through them all one more time. So we're going to start with the kettle row. I'm going to start on my right side this time. So nice flat back, knee right under my hip, hand right under my shoulder. Grab that kettlebell. And remember, I'm keeping my shoulder right in this supportive range of motion. I don't need it to go yanking in either direction. Nice and slow. Driving that elbow towards the ceiling. Remember, you can use dumbbells for this workout too. It'll work the exact same. Okay, now we'll switch sides. Get that right knee and right arm on the bench. I think my camera flips it, so it looks like I'm out on the other way. But remember to use a coffee table or a couple chairs to keep that back nice and supported, nice and flat. Keep those abs engaged. Good, all right, kettlebell row. Okay, next we're gonna do the lunge with the overhead press. So grab whatever kettlebell you have that you can do either with one arm with that lunge. So you can hang on to it a couple different ways. You can hang on to it like this and press up, or I like to kind of put it around the back of my hand like this. So lunge, straight up. Look at my body's going straight down and straight up, and when I go down into that lunge, I've got lots of 90-degree angles. Remember, if that weight is too heavy for one hand, go ahead and grab it with both. If the lunges are too much, do a smaller range of motion. 2 more. Okay, switch. I'm going to loop that kettlebell around the back of my wrist. Push straight up. If you can't get that to be comfortable, just grab it with both hands. Keeping that body nice and tall, abs nice and tight. Good. Okay, great. Getting that lower body and upper body working together really also emphasizes a little bit more core to stabilize when you press up overhead. Okay, next we're going to do that plank, moving the kettlebell. So remember, you can do this on your knees or on your toes. So we'll start here, reach around, put it beside my left hand. Reach around, reach under, set it down, reach under, set it down. And then you can also do this from your knees if you feel like it's a little much from your toes. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can do this with the dumbbells or a can of soup, or if that feels even like too much, you can just pick up and lower your hands here. And that might feel like plenty without even involving a weight. Okay, kettlebell swings. So if you don't have a kettlebell, remember you can grab a gallon of water or a dumbbell. So remember, we're going to do this with bent knees because it's safer for your back. So as I sit back, my hips are going to go back and I bring it straight forward like this. Snapping those hips at the top. And only bringing this shoulder height a little higher than as it swings back, sitting those hips back, getting that snap at the top. Okay, and remember the transitions are often the most important part so that you don't hurt your back, hurt your shoulder, reaching, anything like that. Okay, next, triceps with a bridge on the ball. So I'm going to walk myself out. Remember, you can do this on the floor in just a normal bridge, or you just lie on the floor with your knees bent in a good, safe position for your back. Get that right up overhead. I'm holding it like this with my thumbs linked through. Elbows nice and together. You've got a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Dropping that weight over your head slowly. You don't want to hit yourself in the head here. Keeping a good straight line from those knees. Should probably really be feeling this in your hamstrings and your glutes about now, considering everything else we've done. Okay, good. Remember, if that bothers your shoulders or if your weight is too much, just do a good chest press here. And then you can call in some bigger muscles to hold that position and to just press that up. And your triceps also get a secondary workout in that. Okay, balance. So we're going to use that same kettlebell. Stand on one foot. Let's see, bring this camera up a little bit. All right. Hanging onto it with both hands. Gently tilt forward. Come back up. We'll do 5 on each side. Trying to keep a nice straight line from your heels to your head, to the top of your head. So you want to keep your head in line with your spine. You want to dip it down like this. Keep everything in a nice straight line. And remember, if this is too much, hold on to it like this, and we can do it over a chair or over a sofa even, somewhere where you don't feel like the floor is so far away. All right, I'm going to switch hands, switch feet, not hands, switch legs. Nice and slow, really emphasizing those hamstrings right here and that balance. Keeping your head in line, continuing to breathe. I lost my balance there. You may find yourself doing the same thing. If you do lose your balance, it's okay. Just readjust and try again. All right, we'll do one more. And back up. Okay, good. One more to do. We're going to do that squat with the diagonal press up. So I'm going to use my lighter weight here. So we'll set it over one foot and then I'm going to grab across my body and press straight up. So scoot back here a little bit. Up over my opposite toe, reach up, press up. Now, I'm not using my heavier kettlebell because it's too much for me for this one. My arm is a little sore from shoveling, actually. Getting a good squat, getting those hips back, engaging that core, help pull it across your body. 8. And remember, if you don't have anything that you can do this with one hand, all right, now we'll switch and do the other side. So grab with your other hand, pull it up. If you don't have anything you can do it with one hand, use both. So you can do the same motion, just use both hands. However you choose to do it, with whatever you have at home. You have to make it work for what you have, and always stay within your abilities, not just trying to keep up with what you feel like you should do. If you want to do this workout, that was 10, and you don't have kettlebells, and you don't have dumbbells, you can use any number of things, but you can always contact me, and I can give you an idea or a couple ideas. But I want to try to keep doing things with what you might have in your home. So if you have any more ideas for me, and you want me to do anything different, or if you've got specific questions, go ahead and message me or leave a comment. I've gotten lots of good feedback so far, so I'm trying to continue to honor those requests. So have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you.